Hey guys, it's Nat from Nat's Numbers. Well, I am back. I got a lot of wonderful comments from you guys, and you were interested in hearing about the 0 point field meditation technique. So, I talked about this in the last video that I made on the most powerful number in numerology, the number 0. So, I'm going to put a link below if you haven't seen that video. Please check it out. It's fascinating. I talk about the history of the 0, why it was kept a secret from the masses for so long, and how if you can leverage the 0, it will help to elevate your creation of reality. So I'm going to be sharing with you a simple 3-step technique that I use in my life every morning to gently ease miracles into my life. Before I get into the technique, I want to give you guys a little bit more inspiration on the 0. So I'm going to start off with a quote from Richard Conn Henry. He's a professor of physics and astronomy at Johns Hopkins University, and here's what he says. He says, "Get over it and accept the inarguable conclusion. The universe is immaterial. It's mental and spiritual." Why would somebody so prestigious and so educated make such an incredible claim that the universe is mental and spiritual? Well, it's because 0 point energy, or the concept of the 0 point field, has been studied both experimentally and theoretically since the discovery of quantum mechanics in the 1920s. And what they found, and what's been proven, is that the 0 point field actually affects physical reality. So let me give you guys a review, right? Quantum physicists, who are these incredible explorers of the very nature and origin of reality. I mean, we have deep sea explorers and we have astronauts. Quantum physicists are just amazing, the work that they do. And so what they do is they go as deep as they can into matter, the building blocks of everything that exists. So all the atoms that make up everything that's inside of you, that's inside of me, that makes up the table, that makes up the stardust of the universe, when you go as deep down as you can go, what you find is nothing. You find that physical things really have no structure. Physical things are really made fundamentally of this invisible supernatural field of energy. And so in the quantum world, they've coined this ground source from which everything comes into existence. They've coined it the 0 point field, where real stuff, particles, real physical things pop into and out of existence based upon your attention, based upon thought. They've found that the observer affects the experiment. In fact, it shapes the very reality that they're observing. So Niels Bohr, recipient of the Nobel Prize and a pioneer in quantum theory, in the 1930s, 1940s, he has a great quote. He says, "If quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, you haven't understood it yet. Everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real." And it's so true. It's so true. In fact, Alan Adams, an associate professor in the Department of Physics at MIT, he says, "There is no disagreement between quantum mechanics and any experiment that has ever been done." So there's a lot of evidence to support the fact that the 0 is a real force, and we have the ability to leverage it. How? Well, in my mind, it's partly in due to having this technique, having some way to start to rub shoulders with the 0, or with this concept of the field of unlimited possibilities. Okay? So here's the 3-step process. You can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. That doesn't matter as much. What this technique is really about is it's about loosening your attention to what is and directing it more to the unlimited possibilities of what could be. So step 1, imagine the 0 point field. This is where you let the 0 point field, you let unlimited possibilities take center stage versus anything else that's going on in your life, versus any memory, any recollection, any observation, okay? Here are some techniques that have worked to be able to imagine the 0 point field. If you have your eyes open, blur your eyes. And when you blur your eyes, you can start to introduce yourself or remind yourself of what quantum physicists are telling us, that this reality really is this ocean of possibility, and it's not concrete. It's not as real as you think it is. The fight with your lover, not as real as you think it is. The problem in your bank account, not very real. That there's this ocean of possibility that is affected by your reality. So blur your eyes. Things are far more porous and far more open than you can realize. Another thing that has worked is to imagine some sort of powerful scene out of a movie that sort of generates this feeling of magic and this feeling of the supernatural. One of the most common that clients have reported really generates that feeling is the scene from The Matrix, where Neo realizes he's the one and suddenly stops the bullets and everything just turns to energy. Some of the other techniques are imagining what you're observing right now as like a Vincent van Gogh painting. Have you seen those where it's sort of the impressionist paintings where everything like is sort of looks like it's this liquid? So that's another technique that people have used. And one of my favorites, because I'm a bit of a nerd, is imagining the holodeck from Star Trek. For me, it's Star Trek The Next Generation. That's what I grew up on. But the holodeck is sort of this like white room. And you can say, computer, I want to see a tree, and a hologram of a tree will pop up. So it's just imagining that suddenly your reality is this clean slate. In this moment right now, suddenly anything and everything can happen, okay? So step one, imagine the 0 point field. If you guys have some ideas of how to do this, let's support each other and sort of brainstorm together and comment below. I would love to get some more ideas, okay? Let me tell you what I do for step one. I go to the gym every morning, I do my 1 hour workout, and then I sit down in the stretch room, put my mat down, and I choose cinematic music. I choose music that really just invokes this inner movie inside my mind. And don't judge, okay, these are my choices, but I listen to Enya, Lorena McKennitt, maybe a little bit of Yanni, sometimes some Louis Armstrong. I even like Hermitude, some electronic music. So whatever floats your boat, but just music that just generates this like feeling of incredible supernatural power. So I put the music in, and right before I close my eyes, I look at my surroundings. And as my lids close, I imagine that the people stretching over there, all the weight machines, the walls and everything suddenly turns to energy. So that's how I do it every morning. That's my step one. Okay, step two is to sit in it and to feel the unlimited possibilities. The longer that you can sit in the 0 point field, the longer that you can maintain that anchor, that visual, the better. Because what will start to happen when you start to rub shoulders with the quantum field and you know that magic is happening, you're going to feel a couple things. You're going to feel a washing away of worries. So you know that feeling where suddenly you're like, what was I worrying about again? You just can't remember it anymore. That's when you know you've confronted the zero. A sensation of love, a sensation of invincibility, but not in an ego type of way. It's sort of this like deep level of trust. So those are some of the signs, okay? So sit in the possibility. Let it just undulate through your body. Let it just envelop you with absolute bliss, okay? And the last step, step three, is the population step. And this is not actually necessary. This can just be sort of a fun little experiment that you can do. Because if you just did step one and step two, that's enough to have magic happen in your life. You loosen your observation of what is so that all of the dreams and desires that you have will naturally start to populate, right? But it's fun to play around with it nonetheless. So step three is population. And so what you do is you just simply ask yourself, wouldn't it be nice if this happened? Or wouldn't it be cool if this happened? And you just have it for a split second, just sort of a gentle, playful thought. And then you go about your day. And that's it, right? You just imagine something populating. You get the excitement and the feeling as if it already happened. And you get up and you move on. Okay? So that's step one, step two, step three. Step one, imagine the field. Step two, sit in it, feel it, let it undulate through your senses. And step three is be playful and populate an idea, something that's new and fresh, that excites you, that you would like to rendezvous with, okay? So those are the three steps. I would love to hear what happens for you guys. And I'll be back soon to record another video. I hope you guys are having a great February so far. Bye.